Hello everyone. Topic for today's video is nested lambda function. So what is a nested lambda function? Nested lambda function is a lambda function inside another lambda function. Theoretically speaking, you can nest in number of lambda functions, but my 2 cents is that don't overdo it. And here is the syntax. Lambda function outer, which is written in the pink. I have just for the clarity, I have written lambda param underscore outer, which although we are going to start the lambda function with lambda keyword. Again in the blue you have got lambda param underscore inner. Both of these are separated by colon, and then again separated by colon in green is the expression. Let me start with a very simple book example which you are going to find in almost every book, and then I will scale it up to a practical example. I will put the timeline so that you can navigate to the chapter that you want. Let me start with a simple lambda function, lambda, and I am going to write a is equal to 2, comma, b is equal to 3, then a colon. A lambda function, one lambda function can have multiple arguments or parameters, but can have one single expression. And the parameters and expression must be separated by a colon. We have already discussed it in my previous video about lambda function. Check the icon up above. Instead of expression, I am going to write here another lambda. So lambda c, again a colon. Now I am going to write here a plus b plus c, and I am going to assign it to a variable. Let us call that variable lambda underscore fn is equal to this. Now here I would like to take you back to the PowerPoint. This is the function that I have written here, and here everything written into the pink is the outer lambda function, everything in blue is inner lambda function, and everything in green is the expression that corresponds to the inner lambda function. Next step, I am going to define another variable called fn, and I am going to assign this lambda function to this fn, and then finally I am going to print fn with a value 4 or parameter 4. When I am going to run it, I am getting here output as 9. Let us try to understand it step by step. Starting with line number 1. This is the our outer lambda function which takes two default parameters. A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3. So these are default parameters. And then instead of returning a number, it is returning another lambda, which is this one. And notice one thing over here, this lambda function, which is the inner lambda function, it is able to collect the values from the outer lambda function. A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, which makes it 5, and this 4, which is being I am assigning here or passing here, it goes to C. So 2 plus 3 plus 4, that is 9. This is how it is coming over here. Don't know whether you've noticed it or not, but here, while assigning this lambda function to a variable, I have used a parenthesis. Whereas in the previous video, when I was creating a lambda function like this, I was, let me paste it over here for the time being. Here, I was not passing it, an empty parenthesis. I was straight away assigning it, and while calling it, I was straight away passing the argument. So what is this parenthesis doing over here? So let us see what happens when I just remove, let me comment out this line, remove this parenthesis from here. When now I try to print fn here, what happens? You will see here I am getting a memory address for object here. This function object, I am getting the memory address. What is the logic behind it? Fn with the parenthesis, it triggers the outer lambda function, which is this. And if we call it without the parenthesis, then it actually references to the outer lambda object. With parenthesis, you are actually running it, which is going to return the inner lambda. I hope this is clear, and that is the reason we need a parenthesis over here. Now let us jump on to our next example. In this example, we are going to calculate the price of an item after deducting the discount percentage. Let us say an item costs 100 bucks and there is a discount of 10%. So the discounted price is going to be 90 bucks. Discounted price, that is going to be our variable. here lambda percent, it's our outer lambda. Again, I am going to write another lambda here, price. This is going to inner lambda, and then price minus, in parenthesis, I am going to write price multiplied by percent and then divided by 100. Now I am defining a variable called 10% is equal to discounted price, and here I am passing the 10%, that is our discount percent, and then I am going to print 10%, and here I am going to finally pass the price. So the price is going to this inner lambda here, and this discount is going to be here. Again, when you are going to run it, I would be getting 90. A 100 buck item after a discount of 10% is going to cost you 90. Similarly, I can define another variable called 20% is equal to discounted price, and here the discount percent is 20, and then I am going to write here 20%, and let us say this time the price of the item is 200. So 20% of 200 is 40. So I should be getting here 160, which is correct. I said earlier, the outer lambda, which is this part, it takes the discount percent, 10% or 20% as I have given over here. And the inner lambda, which is this part, it takes the price, which I am passing here as 200, and then does the calculation. And just again remember this thing, this inner lambda is able to remember or collect the percentage from the outer lambda. This is a classic case of closure. Closure in itself is a topic worthy of a separate video, which I will be covering. This is already onto my agenda. If I come over here, if you have not seen my previous videos, I will give the link into the description box, and I put as an end screen also. All these codes I will be putting on my GitHub page and share the link into the description box. If you find this video engaging, useful, why not hit the like button, share and subscribe to my channel. Till then, happy coding.